Good evening, everybody. Well, I hope you're all doing well. We're back again. We're back at the mountain, and we're excited to get into this again. We've only managed to get through 29 of the 110 cars as it was last week, so we have plenty more to get through, which is why we're giving a super bank holiday bonanza around Bathurst. We're going to try and get this boxed off and finished and see where everything stacks up. So welcome along, hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're looking forward to a few more laps around the most fantastic circuit in the world, Mount Panorama in Bathurst. So let's jump into it and see how we go. I mean, last week we had a pretty mixed bag in terms of what vehicles we were driving, so we went from karts to trucks to F1 cars, etc. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So first of all, many thanks to those who have hit the red button below and become one of our teammates. We really appreciate that. That's awesome. We've now made it over the 400 mark, so that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much. And secondly, Riser Studios, I said last week about them being particularly efficient in churning out content, and since we did it last week, they've now increased our car count by 2, so we've got 2 brand new cars that we're going to be trying out, hopefully at some point during the stream. If not, it'll be tomorrow or Monday, depending on how far through we get. So let's jump into the game now, except there we go. Right, here we go, jumping into it. Here we are. This is where we left off with the Porsche Cayman GT4 car. Now there's lots of cars we didn't get into, but we didn't even touch any of the GT3 cars. There's plenty more Formula cars to get through as well. We didn't touch any of the P1 class cars, so there's some quick ones in there. I have my book, my paper and pen ready to go again to mark down our lap times as we would normally do. Hi Frankie, welcome back. Yes, thanks, congrats on the 400, that's awesome. Yeah, so we've got our pen and paper up. We've got our list amended. We've got the 2 new cars on it, and we've condensed the ones that we've already used. So we're going to find our way in. So at the moment, if you haven't seen the list on our Facebook page, we did a leaderboard on there. The McLaren MP412 is currently top of the pile, and the only one that isn't a Formula 1 car is in P6, which is the Porsche 962C. So let's see if we can get any more cars up into that top 5 and break the hold of the Formula 1 cars. So where are we going to start off today? With our list here, let's get my random number generator up. We've now amended it to 83. So first car for the evening is number 57, which is the Ginetta GT5. So obviously the 2 types of Ginetta. We have the G40 Cup, but we also have the Ginetta in the GT5 class, which is this one. So that's where we're going to be starting today, and what a good way to start, because we love this little car. It's so cool to drive. So let's load it in and see how we go. Maybe only run 1 car from each car to get through them. Yeah, see, I considered that. I thought, well, some of them are so similar, you just kind of like, well, they'd be kind of the same. But that's not the point. We're going to try and drive every single car. We've made it that's our quest, so we shall continue to try and do that if we can, and just try and get through everything. So here we go. Ginetta GT5. We're going to use the H-pattern gearbox as well. Let's see what this little thing's like around here. It drives really nicely normally, so now this is going to be a bit of an exploratory first lap, I think, because I've not driven an awful lot since we did our stream last, actually, which is shameful. Okay, into Hell Corner for the first time this evening, and we're powering our way back up the hill. Good to be back at this place. It's such a challenge to drive, but I know I am. Yeah, glutton for punishment. But it's got to be done. Turn 2. Come on, little Ginetta. Let's keep that momentum going if we can, because I know this hill is going to really take the most out of it. Here we go, up towards the cutting. too bad. A little bit of wheel spin. But we're on our way quite nicely. Now, last week we obviously had a few misdemeanors over the top of the mountain, as you'd expect. Mostly surrounded by Beetles. Those really high-powered, hard cars to drive. So hopefully we can minimise some of those this time and not have to run the lap again. This is the particular problem area, especially on this transition here. So far, we're through neat and tidy. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble, but we're under control. Our key here is to get the car over to the right, open up this next part here for the elbow. A little bit of oversteer mid-corner, but we're through. Not a bad lap so far. And of course, we'll get a second chance of driving this Ginetta again with the G40 Cup car. Be interesting to see what the difference is between them in terms of lap time, whether there's one that's particularly quicker than the other. And this one has 6 gears, which is useful down the straight here. Stop! No! Oh, that's ruined that one. But at least it wasn't an into the wall moment. It's just too ambitious going through the chase. And then the famous last corner. Famous for being one to ruin your lap. Yes, absolutely. The challenge is definitely adapting to each car quickly. So there we go. First lap of the evening done. And it is a 2:43.139. So let's jot that down in our book of knowledge. Ginetta GT5 2:43.139. Alright. First one done. Now, absolutely, I mean, adapting to each of the cars is definitely the hardest part of it. Just they're all so different, so they're obviously going to drive very differently as well. So trying to extract the most out of them in a very short space of time is, yeah, it's hard going, but fun nonetheless. Okay, so let's mark that one off and get ourselves back into our rhythm here. So Ginetta GT5 is done. Next, number 80, almost at the bottom of the list here. Ooh, this one is good. This one is actually. I was hoping this would come up later actually, because it very much is made for it. We're going V8 supercar driving now. This is what it's all about. V8 supercars at Bathurst. This is the home territory of the V8 supercar. As you can see, V8 supercar, 640 brake, sequential transmission, and yeah, this could be fun. Haven't driven these in a little while, but they are one of the better ones to drive in AMS2. Here we go. Big rumbly V8, screaming into life. Now this could be a bit of a handful over the top of the hill. It's a bit of a handful at the bottom of the hill, let alone at the top. Okay. Ooh, a little bit keen on the old throttle there. So hear your opinion on default setups with the drive chain adjustments rising level. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more, because I haven't really seen exactly what changes those have been, but it's nice to that. So you're saying that they've adjusted the default setups in terms of how things work in terms of getting the power down. Ooh. It's super wobbly, but it's epic all the same. Not too bad so far. Gonna miss the apex though a little bit. Nope, not first gear, that's way too ambitious. just feel you have to keep pulling the left-hand paddle to go down the gears. Well, we survived. Now let's not make the same mistake with the Ginetta and run too deep into the chase. Differential change to make drivability easier. Ah, no, I think actually, yeah, I did hear something about that. Yeah, it should be a little bit more stable than this. I think I'm just being a little bit too enthusiastic on the old right foot. Too bad. It felt like I was going a little bit too deep into the chase then, but we managed to just about rein it in. Ooh, lock of the rear brake. James Courtney into there. And there we go. Very poor lap by V8 supercar standards in terms of time, but for a jumping in straight away job, that's not too bad. 2:08.6. V8 supercar. 2:08.638. Yeah, welcome along again, Azaris. Good to have you with us again. Yeah, I mean, the V8 supercar, I mean, you see the top drivers driving those, and they look like they're on rails because they're used to driving them, and they're just, you know, that good of a driver. So, yeah, I mean, with a bit more work on the setup, perhaps you could change some of that stability, especially under braking as well. I noticed that with going into the last corner there, it was pretty wild. So let's check that one off then. V8 supercar Bathurst is done. Now we're heading back to the top of the list. Well, not top exactly, but ooh, okay. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I got excited then. I thought we were having a new car. We're in Formula 1 territory again, and we are in Formula Retro, but not the new Formula Retro. We're in the Lotus 72. Iconic Formula 1 car. This one really is stunning to look at. Very successful too. It was famous for winning loads and loads of races, and not really changing too much over the years. Well, I think they used the same car 2 or 3 years in a row, so with very minimal changes to it, and it just kept on winning. So very successful Formula 1 car. And as mentioned on the channel, it's my dad's favourite as well, so hopefully we can do this one justice. Here we go, DFV Cosworth engine, 10,000 revs, big slicks, minimal aero, and a terrifying track. Turn. Now we have had this this car on the stream before, and it took a while to warm its tyres up. So hopefully we're not having that same problem as we're fighting it over the top of the hill. Let's try and use a higher gear where possible, just to try and limit some of this wheel spin from the massive slicks at the back. Even though they're huge tyres, they're not as grippy as modern tyres, so they do tend to move around an awful lot. Whoa! There's the wall. Oh no. Okay, I'm not having that. Not having that. Okay. Luckily it's a fairly quick car. Right, let's try this again. Be aware of understeer followed by huge bursts of oversteer. And be gentle on the throttle. None of this keen rush to get back on the power too early. Make sure you're going in a good direction before you full throttle. But it is a cool car. Ooh, there, over the top of the hill. Use third through here this time. Yeah, a little bit more control out. trying to be super careful with the throttle over the crest there, just to avoid having another one of those moments. I think extracting the most out of this round here would be quite an incredible lap. No, I did it again. Oh, I'm going to have to do 3 runs at this. This is getting embarrassing. Alan, welcome. Welcome along. Good to have you with us. Hope you enjoy the stream. Hope you enjoy watching me make a fool of myself trying to adapt to various different cars, one after the other, whilst trying to set a lap time around Bathurst. You know, what could be easier? But hopefully it's an enjoyable experience, which I'm pretty sure it will be. No. Okay, calm down. Let's get this in order. So we know this thing bites over the top. We just need to be a little bit cautious. That's all we need to do. And be ready for when it does go sideways. I haven't even tried going down the mountain yet, so who knows what it's going to be like doing that. Nice and easy on the power. Okay, watch those crests. Dear. Okay, and this is it. Let's try and survive this, shall we? Require an awful lot of concentration, but we're through. Faith and time. Yes, well, I'd be quite happy if we can get through this lap and not have to do it again. Not because I don't want to drive the car, but we have so many more to get through. Okay, through the chase, flat out, and I'm going to be straight back on the brakes to get this thing stopped and wash off all that speed. It's just wheel spin everywhere. But a unique challenge to try and drive. Ooh, try not to catch that curb. One very scruffy lap of Bathurst in the Formula 1 car, but we did it. 2 minutes 4. Okay, I expect there's an awful lot more in that, but yeah, I didn't find it. So a 2:04.090. Quickest lap of the evening though. Let's see how long that lasts. Probably not too long actually, with the cars that we have still to come. Right, what's next? Let's mark off the Lotus 72. That one gave me a bit of a hard time, but then you'd kind of expect that. You wouldn't expect it from a Beetle, but you would expect it from that. Okay, next car. Okay, we are back in GT4 machinery this time round. We are going for... We've already driven the Camaro in the last stream. We've driven the Cayman in the last stream. So there's actually only 2 GT4s left to drive, and this one is the McLaren, the 570S. So again, we're not looking for all-out world records, although I did, when I was rewatching the stream, and I put the I've gone back and I've put the timestamps in for each individual car. So if there's a particular car you want to catch up on, you can go back and find the exact one in the stream without trying to skim through it and things. So if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But going back through though, I did notice, I think we grabbed the world record in the 79 Opala. So that's a win in my books. Okay, McLaren GT4. What I did read in the release notes is that they've made some changes to avoid wheel lifting in the old Opalas, which I was most upset about because that was super fun. So hopefully it's not hopefully it's not too bad. But they have at least tried to lower the centre of gravity, which I know was one of the big issues that we were talking about last week, is how far off the ground those things are. But anyway, GT4 time. Let's get on to this McLaren. One of the latest releases on iRacing, of course, as well. But, let's see how it goes around here in Automobilista 2. Break just before the 100, I reckon. Ooh. Bit of oversteer on the way in. Caught it. Pro wrestling, yeah, the 72 definitely was. This feels pretty feisty for a little GT4. Say little, they're still supercars essentially. Definitely not using all the road. Used it all there though. No. Nope, I'm going to call that one because I'm going to try and give these all a fair chance at least. Tried the GT4 Porsche a week ago and it was drifting every turn. Something with the default setup or something. That may have been changed. I know, as Funko was mentioning earlier on, there was some changes to the drivetrain settings on the default setup, so in basically trying to improve drivability of the cars. So hopefully, if you can revisit that, it might be a bit better. But yeah, we did find that last week. We were driving the Cayman, and it was quite a handful. It was significantly slower than the Camaro as well, actually. So see if that's changed anything. Okay, we're on our way again now. It's amazing how having one extra lap under your belt, how much easier a car suddenly becomes to drive the next time around. Love how it goes light over that crest there. You just kind of chuck it into the left-hander. Gearing's really odd on this as well. Oof. Go down towards the elbow once again. Back end was trying to come around a little bit there. But not too bad, not too untidy this time around actually. We're on our Conquer the Mountain quest, trying to challenge the mountain in every single car. Stop. Unbelievable. Hang on. I should have checked this earlier, but I'm just going to have a quick make sure that my pedals are actually done, because they're not stopping very... Oh no, they're okay. Okay, it's just me. Ah. Why is the chase causing me so much trouble tonight? What's going on? What am I getting... What am I doing? I'm being too enthusiastic and thinking, oh yeah, I've got this in the bag, and I go flying into the chase and just leave my braking too late. Well, I wasn't expecting to do 3 shots with this, that's for sure. There we are. Try and leave it in taller gears again like we were with the 72, because shifting down too early it's just flying up the rev limiter. So try and keep it in a higher gear. What we also didn't drive last week, which I was quite surprised about, is any Caterhams. So we'll see if they make an appearance this week, or this weekend. I'm sure they will, because we'll try and get through them all, but whether they'll be on tonight's bill or another night. Okay, come on, let's box this McLaren off. really does make you clench going down the hill. You think you have it all under control, and then there's just one little wobble and all of a sudden everything's unsettled. Okay, well, it wasn't as neat over the top as I would have liked, but we have survived. The next thing to do is survive what shouldn't be a particularly difficult corner. Let's see if we can finish this lap off. Just stick the gear, try and brake a lot earlier this time, so as soon as we got round this right-hander, straight on the brakes. Better. Okay, and we're through at 2:14. I think that's pretty slow actually. I'm just going to have a quick look back over the notes for the Camaro. It'll be interesting to see where that stat clicks up. So the Macca 570S, the 214.571. What was the Camaro? Oh, just ignore me, I'm talking rubbish. The Camaro was a 219. A good 5 seconds quicker. Yeah. Okay, so not too bad. We've actually got it finished in the end, so that's good. Nikki, welcome along. Likewise on their hard work, but every update there's more questions than answers. Okay, you're finding some things that you're not sure about. As far as the force feedback in this car is so loose, it makes it harder to drive. Yes, I mean I've, as mentioned, because of my shoulder, I've lowered my force feedback as well on the wheel, so it was very, very loose, and it's kind of hard to figure out where we were. Look at that, it's jumped up to 7th quickest on the overall timesheets. Interesting. Right, okay, let's mark that one off. Next one. Oh. That didn't move very far. We've jumped up 1 position, so we're still in GT4. I'm going to complete the GT4 collection with the Ginetta, the G55. So this is the last GT4 car we drive in this challenge. Be interesting to see if we can get anywhere near to a 214, but it looks like the McLaren's actually a little bit OP on this circuit, because all the top guys are running the McLaren. So if we can get anywhere near it with the Ginetta, I think we'll be doing okay. Yeah, so going back to Nicky's point, I mean, I've not driven much in the new build, obviously it's only just been released, but haven't had a chance to formulate in my own mind where it stacks up, but they are certainly working incredibly hard in terms of trying to get content and updates released. It's an awfully large pillar to my left there, which kind of blocks off a lot of my vision, so spotting some corners could be fun. V6 power from the Ginetta. It already feels to be perhaps a little bit slower in a straight line compared to the McLaren, which might be why it's so fast on here in terms of lap time. Right. Braking distances should be about the same. Don't know why I'm shifting with my H pattern, that's a little bit weird, but restart, so we'll finish. Again, this car features in the Ginetta G55 Super Cup, too many G's and T's. So we'll get a chance to drive this type of Ginetta again at some point. We can take quite a lot of speed over the top of the hill here. Feels a lot more planted than the McLaren, that's for sure. Applied a bit of power at the wrong point, which pushed me off towards the wall. Timing is everything over the top of the mountain. And we're through and away. Okay, yeah, so we are slower so far than the McLaren, but it's okay. Let's see if we can make it up in this last bit here. On my rev limiter in 6th. Definitely feels a lot more planted compared to the McLaren, but there's a definite differential in terms of overall speed on the road. There we go. So 219, we're pretty much back on par with them, with the Camaro actually. So Ginetta GT4 219.424. So yeah, so the Camaro 219.5. So we were just a tenth quicker than the Camaro actually, despite being on the rev limiter for a fair amount of the straight. Okay, another one done, and done in one take too, instead of 3 like the McLaren. Right, so Ginetta ticked off. What's next? 43. God dear me, we're getting a lot of Ginettas to start off with. We're in the GT4. Not GT4, the G40, should I say. This one. So we've already driven this same kind of car to start us off in the evening, in the GT5 version. Now we've only got 5 gears to deal with instead of 6. So I have a suspicion, I think the last time I drove this, I think it was even at the Silverstone National Circuit, it was hitting rev limiter in 5th, so they haven't changed, and I think we're going to be sitting on the rev limiter for the majority of Conrod straights. And probably even Mountain Straight as well, actually. But let's see if that's changed anything. We are going to use the H pattern this time, because it uses one. Back down to the lower powered cars, so need to maximise our corner speeds. Oh, I do love this car, it's so good. So nicely balanced. I know I've said it so many times on this channel, but this car is really, really nice. This stream is sponsored by Ginetta. Wish it was, but unfortunately it's not. It just happens that they are all showing up at the same time. All we need now is for the Super Cup car and the LMP1 to follow. Yeah, so we're already on the limiter. Going into turn 2. Mountain sapping all of our power. It's good. It is really good. Feels far more controllable than so many other cars, but at the same time you still have to balance it and make it work. So good. Right, up over the crest. Oh. Just a slight lift over there, not much. That's too deep into that. But we can recover it because the car allowed us to. So many others wouldn't. Up by the wall on the exit there. Not too bad over the top, just that one little error. Fifth gear. It is a long lap in a slower car, especially when you can't go any faster in 5th gear. We still got some of the karts to come as well, so that'll be an even longer lap, so that'll be interesting. Oh, this is upsetting. The car could do so much better than this if it wasn't for the gearing. Up over the curb. The car takes the curbs really nicely as well. It's not like it's unsettled every time it hits the curb. Last corner. What's this going to be? Well, it's on a bit of a slow one at 2:47. Well, we didn't quite drop into the 3-minute mark, but it is definitely our slowest lap of the evening so far. But then that's to be expected. So, Ginetta G40 Cup, 2:47.913. Okay, great car, but needs a little bit of help to get around there a little bit quicker. But anywhere else on the sim, any other track, excellent. Yes, we still have the rental cart to go. Yes, I am very much looking forward to that one. And the supercard as well, which I think around here is just going to be utter chaos, I think, to be honest. Right, Ginetta's marked off. Okay, for a moment then we only moved 2 places on our list, so I thought we were going to be in for another Ginetta run. But we're not. We are out of Ginettas for the time being. We drop down here to the Mercedes-Benz 190 Evo. What a beautiful machine this thing is. What I will do before we go on track in this one is make sure that I'm not running wets, because we did have an issue where I'd been running the car in the wet weather, and I'd selected the wet tyres, and then on stream we were running this car again at Alton Park, and then it was all over the place. I couldn't get it to stay on track. It was oversteering all over the place, and couldn't figure out why. I jumped in the BMW and it was instantly stuck, and I was like, oh, that's it, the BMW's just better. No, I was just still on wet on a dry track, so I'll check to make sure that we are not running. See, look, we're on wets. See, that's why you check these things. Why is it doing that, I wonder? Okay. We're on slicks, so we're going to give the Merc every opportunity to set a decent time here. So, back to a time when touring cars were naturally aspirated and just sounded absolutely phenomenal. Okay. Into Hell Corner. Bit of oversteer on the way through there, hitting the curb, but we're okay and we're off up the hill. Bit of DTM legendary stuff going on here. Right, we're going to brake into turn 2 back here. Use the hill. Happily, it has a lot more grip than the last time I drove it, unsurprisingly. Bit of slippage out of there. Oh, almost up into Chicotto's wall. Now the Merc 190 did drive around here in the Group A era, but this is obviously later than that. So it didn't drive in this particular guise. And it never really did particularly well. Obviously, Group A era was very much dominated by Sierras, and then later the Skyline GTRs, so the poor little Mercedes didn't really get a look in. Forgot to check if we have 6 gears or not, so I'll try it. It doesn't feel like it would do. No, it doesn't. So we're again stuck on the limiter. A little bit early on the brakes there. I'd rather be early on the brakes and get the car turned into the corner than run on like we did at the start of the stream. Doing the last corner, we just about survived it. We're up over the line. 2:19.7, so we're about on GT4 pace actually, which is pretty good from the Merc. It's gone quite well. So here we go. Merc 190 and 219.772. Okay, so that's, yeah, just 3/10 slower than the Ginetta GT4. So not too bad at all. Cosworth powered, is that referring to? Not sure what that means, but okay, mark off the Merc on there. Right, where to next? Oof, flying to the top of the list. Okay, and this is one of the cars I thought we would get in the last stream, but we didn't. Let's go up very much to the top of our list. Not that one. That one. It's Caterham Superlight time. Yes, it is. Just checking that for sure. Caterham Superlights. Now we've driven this car on the channel as well, around Cadwell Park, which was a fun combination. The Superlight has probably one of the best mixtures of power versus overall drivability. We'll get onto it later, but the 620 is heaps of power, just also heaps of understeer as well for some reason. I know Caterhams in general have a lot of understeer because of the exposed front wheels, and you get a lot of lift and it kind of lifts the wheels off the ground. So, but this one drives very nicely indeed. Oh. Let's get our gearing, shall we? Your beef, says Dad. Okay, here we go. It's Caterham time. Looking forward to this, especially in this, guys. The Academy's good as well. Oh, this car's awesome. I love it. Where do you reckon this one's going to stack up then in terms of lap time? Yeah, it's definitely the most balanced Caterham. You can just chuck this thing around, there's no dramas. I was trying to leave it in third there, but it might just have been a little ambitious. Oh, I could take so much more speed through there as well, actually. Loads of grip. A little bit of a shake of the head as he goes into that corner. See what it's like over the top of the hill. Oh, yeah, beautiful. 235s this funky. Oh, it's so good through there. Big shoe full of right foot just to get the car rotated through the elbow. Terrible top speed. Okay. I'm going to max out again in 6th gear by the looks of things, but hopefully we made up some time through the corners to make up for the lack of top speed. So we're going to be on the brakes early here, I reckon, just to guarantee ourselves getting into the chase. Oh, that was way early. 220, says David. Okay. No, not 220. Oh, funky, straight on the numbers. Oh, it was a 235. Yes, 230 we're on. That was a fun lap. I enjoyed that one. I think that was up there in terms of fun factor, I think, with the M1 Pro car. And what was the other really fun one from last week? It was the MCR Prototype 4 car. That was really fun. So Caterham Superlight. my super high-tech pad and pen to work. 230.710. Well, we're quicker than the Ginetta GT5 and the G40 Cup car, but that's about it. However, I really enjoyed that lap. That was awesome. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the Caterhams are like around there. Okay, let's check that one off. 10 seconds bonus for control. 46. Oh, right, okay. Not to be left out of the party. The BMW M3 wants to come and play. So we've done the Mercedes 190, and now we're into the M3 Evo. More Group A touring car action coming your way very soon. So, what's this one going to be like? Now, this one I did enjoy driving at Alton when we did that last stream with this car. E30s were very successful in Australian touring car racing as well. This is the DTM version, so it's a little bit different in spec. Oh, excuse my hiccups. Right, here we go then. Will this beat the Mercedes? It certainly will do for noise. I reckon the 620R will do 220. Okay, we'll see how that goes. So, I'm not sure whether this is anything to do with the changes, but I am noticing an awful lot of what seems to be like clutch slippage almost. Can it beat the Merc? Yeah, that's the big question. This is a great noise, isn't it? It doesn't sound amazing. Backing into the cutting. Certainly do miss these naturally aspirated touring cars in the modern era. Obviously everything's going turbocharged. But they really do make a great sound. Just on the inside wall. Oh no! That's an inside wall I wasn't hoping to be on. Okay. Hopefully it didn't delay us too badly. That one might though. Sorry, BM. Oh, crunched it. Oh dear. Let's try that again, shall we? Well, luckily for you, David, you get a chance to have another run at it. Right, let's stay out of the wall this time. Just can't help but smile drive this thing. Oh, Rev's died, going to fourth. No, it's too good on the turn in. It's my excuse. Just wants to get into all these corners. So let me at them. Oh, big slide halfway through that. Avoid the wall. Doesn't like coming down the hill. We avoided the wall nonetheless. Wasn't neat. Big armful to opposite lock, trying to fight against the camber of the road. Yep, only 5 gears. Really should check that before I jump in the car. Again, we're on the rev limiter. It is super pointy, isn't it? And it really does dive into the apexes. It's a bit ragged. 220.6. So sadly, we didn't beat the Muck 190. That's a shame. It was a 219.7 for the Mercedes. So nevertheless, a fun drive. BMW M3, 2 minutes 20.625. Not too bad of a lap. I mean, I obviously messed up going toward the dipper, so there would have been a little bit of time lost there. But yeah, in comparison to the Mercedes, then I mean, it does turn in an awful lot better. For me, it sounds better, drives a little bit nicer, but obviously just a little bit slower in terms of lap time. Not a huge amount. But yeah, again, you can see all the Mercedes are at the top of the list there, so definitely the car to be running around here by the looks of things, so that's fine. Okay, rattling through these now. Up to the top of the list again we go. Okay, we're going slower, not to the slowest of the pile, but we are going slower. So this one is one of the Copa Classic cars. Hang on, let's double check that one. So it's the Passat Classic FL with the rear wing and some wire holding the wing in place. So hang on, so let's check the gear. So, oops, 5 speed. Okay, don't try and go for 6 down the straight because you won't find it. 170 brake horsepower and front wheel drive. Now I did notice in the release patch notes that they have they've tried to adjust the front wheel drive characteristics because apparently it was pulling left or right if it was a front wheel drive car. So it'd be interesting to see if that's disappeared out of here and what it's like to drive. Because I remember we drove the, I think it was the Golf front wheel drive car on the stream last time round. That was all over the place, so yeah, that wang, it's huge. Massive aero for a front wheel drive car. Okay. Different set of physics completely to everything else we've driven so far. It is a very ambitious hill climb car. It would work well on the Bergrennen Championship. A little bit of grass there, but we're okay. Get the power on. So again, being front wheel drive, we now have to deal with trying to keep the front end rotating through the corner, but also not causing too much wheel spin by asking the tyres to do too much to the front. So you're trying to turn, you're trying to brake, or you're trying to accelerate. And those tyres can only take so much abuse. So if you try and put the power down too quickly, they'll just spin the tyres and you'll understeer off. And around here, the only place you'll understeer off into is a very welcoming concrete barrier. It wasn't my intention to Scandinavian flick it into the cutting, but that's kind of what happened. It's definitely not front-wheel drive physics I'm used to from, say, Race Room's WTCR class, but this isn't a WTCR car, so it's just a case of getting used to it, which is what this challenge is all about, jumping into different cars and trying to manhandle them as best we can. Let's try not stuff into a wall, shall we? Just double pedaling it through the S's there, just to try make sure that it's not spitting me from one side of the road to the other. So what I mean by double pedaling it, I'm on the brakes trying to stop the thing, but I've also got a bit of power on just to stop it from, or to bring the front end back to where I needed to be, because it was all over the place. So not great for tyres, but good for bodywork. There we go, leave it in fifth. 187, 88 kilometres an hour. So the chase, flat out, unsurprisingly. Brake about 150 board. Use all that massive downforce to help us through there. One more corner to go. Let's finish this lap off and see where it sits. Oh no! Get over the line. Oh, would you believe it? Last corner strikes. That's not a representative time, is it? So okay, we're going again. Yeah, dragging the brake definitely required to get this thing to do what you want it to do, as well as staying off curbs and gravel traps. So we're going again with the Passat. Ah dear. What we need to do is try and limit some of these double laps, triple laps, because we've got so many to get through. But luckily we have a bank holiday weekend, so we can actually hopefully get through everything over the next few days. Yeah, it's not quite Fuskers, but not far off. We also have some more of those to come as well, so yeah, plenty more pain to inflict on myself. But yeah, at least we know a little bit more of what to expect this time around with this thing. If anything, it actually feels easier this time around. I know I've said that already, but it doesn't feel like it's trying to pull left to right. Whereas the first lap, okay, I take everything back. Take it all back. Yes, this is comparable to a first lap. Yes, I am going for a third run in what should be a straightforward car. Doesn't it know we have other cars we want to drive, like rental cars and trucks? Right. Take 3 of challenging the mountain in a front-wheel drive car, which is just trying to kill us. So yeah, if I do end up getting this car around, it looks like it's going to be a 2-minute 30s lap, as long as I can keep it out of the wall. Good thing about these slower cars, it does allow you to have an opportunity to admire the scenery a little bit more on the straights. Let's keep it neat. Front-wheel drives not being friendly to me right now. Normally I'm not too bad with them, but for some reason I am struggling with this one. some Fusca DNA in there. Yes, no, you're probably right actually, they are VW, so... It's almost driving like a rear-wheel drive car through that. Fusca is definitely one of the hardest cars to drive in MS2. Because, you know, Porsche 962C Group C cars, you know, they're just a doddle. You know, there's no problem to them. They just grip the road and off you go, regardless of how much power they have and all that. But yeah, Beetles, hard cars to drive. Okay. Trying to get the power down on these things is a bit of a challenge. Right, this time, on the brakes, get it stopped. Don't go off the track. And we made it! Oh, it wasn't a 2 minutes 30, that was a 2:44. Oh, 2 minutes and 44 seconds worth of pain. The Passat FL. 2 minutes 44.236. Every thousandth matters in this challenge. Yes, I made it. Whew. Okay. Next. Happy to move on from that one. Okay. Let's mark us off. Put a big red square on that one. Thank you very much, done. 45 we've done. It's our first repeat draw. Okay, time for something completely different. We're in Formula Vintage. We're in Gen 1 Model 1. Gen 1 Model 1. So this is the Formula Vintage without any kind of basic aero. In the first stream we did have a go in the the Model 2, so the Gen 2 car, which had a little bit of a rear wing and some dive planes on the front nose cone as well. This has zero aero whatsoever. Same kind of DFV Cosworth engine behind us, same shredded cross-ply tyres, same fear going over the mountain. How much should I brake for the next corner? Fusca. Yes. Passat wheel record rider. Was it? I doubt it. I'm gonna have to check that. If it is, that's impressive, because I don't think that was a particularly good lap. Okay. Old school F1 time. And the understeer is back. The problem is with the understeer with these things is it's secured by right foot, which usually means you end up going sideways, kind of like that. But around here, there just isn't the room to do that kind of thing. Safely anyway. Okay. Oh, we have liftoff. Stop, turn. Again, it's an exercise in being super delicate with the right foot. See a fair amount of turning for that one. I was expecting to have bags of understeer through the fast stuff, but so far, not too bad. Actually, almost put my foot in it, but I was reserving judgment for after I've got over the top of the mountain. That was actually pretty cool. Enjoyed that. Whippy whip. Straight in there with the F. Yeah. I thought I would be, but so far I've survived. Okay, on the brakes early. Hopping and banging on the overrun. Yeah, that was fun. At 2 minutes 12.2. Not bad for an old F1 car. So these got a lot better with the update. Now you can actually power slide them reliably. Yes. It did feel a lot better actually. I remember driving these before, and when the back end were to get round, yeah, it wasn't for catching, that's for sure. But that was pretty good actually, very drivable. So F Vintage, Gen 1, was it Model 1, wasn't it? 2 minutes 12.2. That is, for out of interest, that is the third quickest lap so far of the evening, behind the Lotus 72 and the V8 supercar. So interesting, the V8 touring car can go around quicker than a old Grand Prix car, but then they are very different pieces of tech. So that was fun. Great lap. Yeah, it was good. Enjoyed that one. So it's a little bit dodgy to start off with, but we got there. We got there in the end. Yeah, good one. Okay. I'll have some more of that to come as well with the Model 2 at some point. Okay, so when I said that was the third quickest lap time of the evening, that is about to get blitzed. Because we're in contention now to set our quickest lap of our Bathurst challenge, because we are going Formula Ultimate. But before I do it, I'm going to check that. So, as I say, you said Passat world record. No, only. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, sorry, you're right. It is Passat world record because there's Pumas ahead of me. Okay, Formula Ultimate. Steve, welcome along. Hi there. What pedals are you using? Just bought the game, really enjoying it. Glad you're enjoying it. Yes, Automobilista 2 is great. Glad you're getting involved with it. I'm using some Club Sport V3 pedals. Not the inverted ones, just the standard ones. I have the metal pedal plates on them rather than the rubber kind of rounded ones, just because I find they have a nicer feel, really. So yeah, that's the pedals I'm using. I haven't actually got them, as you can probably tell. My rig is a MDF desk, so it's very wobbly, and I haven't got these bolted to anything in particular other than two pieces of leftover aluminium profile. So they are bolted down, but not to the floor. Hence why I've actually got my my load cell wound to being pretty much as soft as it can go, just so it doesn't tip the front end up. So it's very makeshift, but it works. Sometimes they do still tip it when I'm braking particularly hard, like when I'm trying to stop a Fusca. Funky, no problem. Thanks for joining in, even though you didn't manage to stay for the whole thing, but good to have you with us. You can catch up as well, obviously, once this is all done. But we'll be back on tomorrow, hopefully. In the meantime, we are flat out in Formula Ultimates. This thing is just pulling gears. World record because no one else made it around. I don't know. I'll have to see if we make it around first. Oh, this thing's just grip everywhere. Almost flat around the first part of the cutting there. Oh my word, this is just ridiculous. Absolutely insane. There was a clip of the wall there, but we'll ignore it. Probably took off several £1 million worth of turning vanes. Unless you get the rental car next, in that case, see your next car. Rounding out down the Conrod Straight. Really late here. Didn't even bother with Karts or DRS. I'm not sure if it's available on time trial mode. Well, that was a rather quick lap of Bathurst. And just like that, it's over. A 1:37.1. That's insane. Absolutely insane. So, okay, so our previous best was a 1:44 in the McLaren MP412, so that has destroyed it by a long way. And there was definitely more in that because I kind of got to that point actually coming down the hill. I wasn't even aware of where I was or what I was doing. I was just driving the car. I was just so blown away by how quick the first part of the top of Skyline was that I was just kind of breathing for the last part of it. That's just insane. What we might do for fun, once we've gone through and cycled through everything, we might just have another go at that and just see how quickly we can get it, because I'm sure there's more in that. But I would hazard a guess, you probably won't see a faster lap round here for the rest of the stream. But we'll probably see some more entertaining ones, that's for sure. My eyes don't work fast enough to drive that. I mean, you just got to... you're smashing through the gears like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, there's some crazy lap times going in there. I'm sure we can go quicker than that. Right, let's do this then. So, that one's done. Next, number 65. The Opala 86. So we're not in the rental cart. Okay. Now this is the Opala that has the slightly extended rear wing, slightly more advanced compared to the 79 car, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see how this one compares and see how much quicker it is. The Nemesis is up there again with his lap times, just incessant, trying to get those world record times. He's super quick though, so don't blame him. So while this is loading in, what was our time in the 79? If I can find it. Where was it? There's the old stock Opala. That was a 2:33. So by rights, this should be mid to high 220s, if I get the lap right, of course. Very key. So let's see how we get on. Got to remember that this thing does not have Formula Ultimate brakes. I will have to brake at regular kind of distances. So what's been your favourite car that we've driven so far on the stream? Let us know in the comments which one you like the best. I think for me so far, my favourite lap's probably the Caterham Superlight. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have enjoyed the most. Just third gear, use the torque of the straight six to pull us up the hill. Bit of bogging down with the gradient there, but you're okay. The car's driving quite nicely so far. Of course, there's the big challenge of coming down the hill, which seems to unsettle pretty much everything we drive. Because you're trying to deal with gradient as well as direction change and braking. Floating through there that time. fun actually, it's quite nice over the top of the hill. Our old-fashioned stopwatch attached to the middle of our steering wheel there. It's telemetry for you back in the 80s. Going to be a 4-gear car this one, so I'm not going to try and go for 5th. Launch it off the curb. So we reckoned it was going to be a mid to high 20s. Oh, that was very much borderline for getting that thing stopped then. And there we go, 227.6. Not a bad prediction. That was a nice car to drive actually. Quite enjoyed that. It was pretty sedate compared to the Formula Ultimate, but no, it was very nice actually. So, Opala 86. I was looking at split times and I saw 101. I was like, what? No, it's 2 minutes 27.635. So where's that stack up then? So we know that's already beaten the 79 car. So 27s. It's quicker than the Caterham Superlight actually. Quicker than the Passat, obviously. Quicker than Ginetta GT5 and the G40 Cup as well. Okay, not too bad, and obviously that a lot of that's made up in the power down the straight as well. So, but yeah, that was pretty good. Enjoy that one. It's nice when you have some laps when you think, oh yeah, you know what, that was good. I enjoyed that. But yeah, you come out of some of these cars and it's like, oh, so glad that's over. Right. 24 is next on the list. Okay, well, not content with having one insanely fast Formula car. Formula Riser now wants to come out for a play. See if we can usurp the Formula Ultimate. Where's he gone? Here it is. So this is older technology than the Formula Ultimate, so it'll be interesting to see how this compares. Top guys running 130s, 33s, but probably won't be up there because I haven't driven this car much. Just get the excuses out early. 7 gears to deal with, so try to count them on my way down. We end up slamming into first or something silly for the elbow. Okay, so this is the era of narrow rear wings, wide front wings, and then slick tyres as well. And we're in a V8 rather than the V6. Let's see how this compares. Now this should beat the McLaren MV412 as well. Or will it? Because the V10's pretty potent. Let's see. A lot more grip through the corners though. Problem with being so low down, you can't see when you're going over some of these crests. Where does the road go? Take 2 bites of that because I turned in too early because I couldn't see where I was supposed to be turning. This is going to be tricky. Make it through. The wheel's a little bit off centre, so I do think that little knock on the wall has changed our alignment ever so slightly. I'm just guessing that the curb was around there somewhere, I couldn't really see it. .39.8. That's another pretty quick lap. That's probably not too far off. What was the ultimate? God, I tell you what, it's not far off the Ultimate actually. Formula Riser. 139.8. Formula Ultimate is 137.1, so it's only 2 seconds off than the Formula Ultimate. So that's actually surprised me how close that was. That was I was expecting it to be a bit slower than that. Brave lap, thanks Alan. Yeah, you may have noticed it was a little bit less commentary than normal because I was trying to figure out where I was going half the time. You just kind of get into a rhythm. It's like, okay, this is usually where I turn in for this corner, and then hope that it is where you're supposed to turn in. Take that Jensen front. Yeah, what was Jensen's lap around here? He had a 2007 spec car though, so it was slightly quicker possibly, I think. Okay, anyway, moving on. Formula Riser. Checked off the list. 82 is the next number drawn out of the random generator. It's pretty much the bottom of the list. And we're taking the rough with the smooth with this next one in terms of pace, because bottom of our list almost, apart from one. Let me slide this down. We're in the 1960s touring car section and we're running the Lotus 23. Okay, very, very different technology compared to the Formula Riser. We're back on cross-ply tyres. We have a aerodynamic shaped body, but a whopping 98 brake horsepower, 4-speed H-pattern gearbox. One of Colin Chapman's creations, the Lotus 23, was a successful race car in the day, as were most of Colin Chapman's creations. But yeah, this one, last time I drove it, was riddled with understeer, so we'll see what happens. So 148.8, was that Jensen's lap, was it? Okay. Has this changed a little bit since last time I drove? It'll be interesting to see how this transpires. Typical red Lotus leather wheel in front of us. So although this appears in the 1960s touring car category, it's not really a touring car, it's more of a sports car. But it's obviously reasonably well paired with the Mini. Banned from Le Mans, this car, was it? Was it down to lift issues? Come on. Well, a lot more of a sedate pace compared to the Formula cars, but nonetheless, very cool. I love historic motorsport, that's my big passion, so these types of cars really appeal to me in terms of driving technique that's required to drive them, and just the overall pure driving feel that you get from them. A little bit of understeer through there. Let's try and float our way through the alpine ski slopes on the way down the hill. Wow, that's fun. Okay, this is considerably nicer to drive than the last time I drove it. Okay, so Zara's back with the reason. So insufficient windscreen height, fuel tank capacity being too large, turning circle too large, ground clearance too small, and the spare tyre requirement not met. Okay, so a few reasons why they weren't allowed to run it at Le Mans then. Spare tyre requirements. Who would have thought they got the LMP1 cars these days having to carry spare wheels, like Dakar. Now, this may be a particularly slow lap, but despite that, I really enjoyed this one. I think this car is now a nice car to drive. You have to try and drive on the throttle. So a 251.6. Yes. To be expected, being one of the slower cars in the sim, but nevertheless, a good group of those on track. Yeah, you can be in for a really good tussle. So 251.663. That is so far the slowest lap of the night, but that's okay. We were expecting something like that. It's only Colin Chapman could design a car too unsafe. Well, at least the wheels stayed on, which is one of his traits with race cars. He had a bit of a tendency for wheels to fall off. That's good. Okay, I'm pleased actually that car drove much nicer than I was expecting it to. As I say, the last time I drove it, it was almost undrivable. You just couldn't turn into any corner because it was just pushing on everywhere. But that was much better. So good stuff. Okay. No, that Merc 90, the Mercedes 190 wants to come out to play again. No, can't. Not allowed. 74. Okay. We are going to a very popular car in AMS2 actually. The Sprint Race. Little silhouette machine. That is next on our list. So 265 brake horsepower, rear-wheel drive V6, 6-speed transmission sequential, so we'll be back on the paddles again. Central driving position as well in this car, so kind of like a McLaren F1. So we'll be trying to get used to our distances to the walls. Hopefully we don't clip them. No, I've said it, I probably will. So see how this goes. But this is really quite a nice to drive car. At least it was last time I drove it, and it sounds good too. Okay. This actually feels pretty slow, which is not what I was expecting to say. I remember these being quicker, but it's probably because we've had such a mixture of machinery. Casual world record there. Was it? I'll have to go back and look at that again. Probably only in the Lotuses, because the Mini seems to be the top of the timesheets in that class. So. What's the Sprint Race car got then? Break of 100 ball, I reckon. Plenty of grip turning in there. Steer into the cutting. So good feedback through the wheel on this car. A little bit more noticeable than some of the other ones, but rounding out through the dip there. Just a little bit of a lift, just to make sure we don't run off into the gravel. You almost have to turn in super early for the dipper because you know the car's going to take off. So you have to almost anticipate it doing that. Oh, there's a fair chunk of understeer there. Mini and the Lotus is several seconds a lot faster now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can imagine the Lotus being a lot quicker because previously you just couldn't get around the lap without flying off the track. So, yeah. Surprised if they are quite a bit quicker. Again, stuck on the limiter in 6th. We go 125. Try to feed the power on a little bit gently there just to make sure we don't rotate too much. There we go, a 2:23.5. That's actually quite a bit quicker than I was expecting it to be, actually. It just felt like it was going to be quite a slow lap, but it's pretty much there or thereabouts with some of the other cars. I mean, it's in the same kind of region, sort of, as the Group A cars, a bit slower. But not too bad overall. 2 minutes 23.560. As we did with the first stream, we're going to get these onto our lap time board and we'll post them up on our social media as well. So if you want to view the whole load of times for yourself, they will be up there as soon as I can physically get them on there. So we can then fully see the extent of what cars I like to drive in my sort of capable hands. Not very capable, but as best as I can do. Okay, sprint race. That one was done, fairly uneventful. Oh, I think we've done this one already. We have. Caterham Superlight wanting to be picked again. Okay, so if that last one was fairly sedate, this next one could be quite the opposite. Let's go back and have a look at that Lotus. Let's see what it says on here. Oh, look at that, straight to the top of the times. By a tenth. Oh, that's cool, love that. Right, anyway, yes, so bit of a wild ride ensuring next. We're going Copa Montana racing. This is like a Australian V8 Ute, but the Brazilian version, and with aero on the back, and big Hot Wheel style wheels on there. But these things are super cool. They're so fun. Of course, being a pickup truck design, there's not much weight over the rear axle, and being rear-wheel drive, there's no to hold the back end down, and with 350 brake horsepower from a V8, it likes to go sideways. So I'm going to try my very best to make this round in one lap. I will try. Sequential gearbox, I think it is. Ooh, it's already twitching into the last corner. Ooh. Okay, that's how it's going to be in a moment. Now, we drove this at the Nordschleife, and that was an eventful lap. Whoa. It seems to be quite a narrow amount of steering lock on this thing. It's quite sensitive to steering inputs. One of your favourite cars now? Yeah, I can imagine this being a favourite. It's definitely a lot of wheel spin when you hit those curves. It's so twitchy. Gonna have to be on my toes over the top of the hill. Oh. Okay. How is it going to behave coming off the top of the mountain? If anywhere's going to unsettle, it's going to be here. Oh, I had to catch that quickly because the back end was coming around. Kept it straight. Missed the apex entirely there, but at least we missed the wall. That's the main thing. It's super twitchy, this thing. It really is. Five gears, absolutely maxed out. Oh. You're literally catching slides on every corner. It's so fun. Another 220, 220.3. So that's... Oh, that was actually, it was quicker than the sprint race. What was the 220s? Oh, the BMW M3. This is 0.3 quicker than the M3. to 20.338. Yeah, so not a bad lap at all there from the Montana truck. We're getting through these okay. Right, still looking at my list here, and there's an awful lot of cars in white still to be run, but that's fine. That's what this challenge is all about. Car number 25 on the list. Okay, so let's come out of this. We're back on the single-seater ladder again, but then there's quite a few single-seaters in AMS2, so it's unsurprising. But this one's a Formula Retro. Not the new Formula Retros, unfortunately. So I haven't tried that yet. We're on the Brabham BT44, which is this little beauty right here. Another iconic 70s looking single-seater Formula 1 car with big high airbox, massive slicks on the rear, little ones on the front. And again, DFV, the most used single-seater Formula 1 engine over that period of time. It was just in pretty much everything. It was just the go-to engine. So right, so we've done the Lotus 72 this evening, which was a 204. What can the Brabham do? Back on the H pattern. Already feels pretty responsive. Well, I thought it was. It's proved me wrong with a whole load of understeer. Wobble over the top. Come on, I'm trying to coax it to turn. Turn. Okay, not too bad so far. Aim for that inside wall. Oh, just about missed it, thankfully. Best thing Bernie Eccleston ever came up with. If you weren't a fan of his random sprinter attacks on the F1 races, then the chase, early on the brakes, get this thing stopped. .204 we were chasing. Oh, we just about pipped to 2:03.9. Wow, that's pretty close. Because I think that the Lotus is a 2:04.0. Yeah, that's super close. Not much in that at all. Brabham BT44 was a 2:03.942. Gordon Murray helped a bit. Yeah, I think he was just more overseeing it all, wasn't he? Bernie was the one that did all the design work. Yeah, so after having the initial understeery moments, the car came a bit more alive as we went on. So, yeah, that was good. That was good. Alright, next. 75. Have we done 75? No, we have not. Okay, we are going more modern with our stock cars. This one is the... scroll way down here. This one is the 2019 spec stock car. So these changed a little bit in 2020, and obviously 21's the same. We just had that one released fairly recently as well. But essentially we're looking at a silhouette type car with a saloon car body over the top with a fair amount of aero to be enjoyed here, hopefully. 450 brake horsepower, V8 engine underneath the bonnet, and yeah, there should be a reasonable lap. I'm expecting this to probably be, we're just going to sit, this should comfortably be quicker than the GT4. I'm thinking probably going to be similar kind of lap time to GT3s if we actually manage to get onto them at some point. We've not touched one of them yet. It should be fairly similar, so here we go then. Big carbon fibre dash in front of us. Away we go. Lively. So, of all the cars we've not done yet, is there one that you're waiting for, one you're holding out for? Is there one that you think you can't wait to see if this one destroys him or how well it does? Slide on the exit, but we got away. Plenty of aero grip through there, that's for sure. Let's try and use some more of the road here if we can. Straighten that left-hander up a bit. Missed the apex there, had a bit of a wobble over the mound there. And a lurid slide out of the forest elbow. Lotus 79, yes, it is on the list. They've added extras to my list as if it wasn't enough already. So the Lotus 79 will be on the way. I have not even driven it a single centimetre yet, so we'll see how that drives. Bad lap, just a little bit wide on the exit there, but we kept it pinned, and there's a 212.8. It's not bad, not bad. What's slightly embarrassing actually is the fact that this is a good 2 seconds slower than McLaren F1 road car. Yeah, let's leave that with you. Stock car 2019 was a 212.807. All I can put it down to is that McLaren must just be ballistic in a straight line, because it wasn't great through the corners, that's for sure. Okay, that was cool. I enjoyed that. There's a good car to drive around here. Right, next on the list. Will Osiris get his wish? Not this time. Not this time. It couldn't be much more different to a Lotus 79. Okay. Where are we? Copa Truck VWs. Now, if this has some Fusca in it, I will not be happy. We've done 2 of the trucks already. We had the MAN truck, we had the Mercedes-Benz as well. The VW has the most ridiculous of the front splitters with the 2 bracing bars that kind of go up the middle of it. It's yeah, it really is outrageous. It's, but then racing trucks in general was pretty outrageous, so what's a little bit of aero stuck on the front to make it even more so. Okay, back on the reach pattern we go. Now, I know we mentioned in the first stream that these are running the pre-release tyre model, so hopefully this is changed in the update, but I didn't see anything about it, so it's probably not. Yeah, close. Yeah, it's not far off. So far, not so bad. Daddy's Oscar. Yeah, Big Daddy. I do like the trucks though. I mean, I know they're a bit weird to drive, but they are a good challenge. Turn. No. Ah. I found the wall slightly. Yeah, it is off center. Yeah, I'm going to do that again because it's damaged my steering. Okay. Now we know we must brake earlier and more for turn 2. Well, what I do love is the diesel truck noises as well. All the turbo noises, all the little the dump valve noises and the air brake noises and all that kind of stuff. It's so cool. Anyway, so by all standards we should be braking at the top of the hill here. Maybe. Let's slow down a bit earlier. That's better. Slide it all the way out. That's why I love the trucks, because you just drift them everywhere. Control, really. Well, if visibility was an issue in the Formula Riser, it's not so much of an issue. The issue is keeping it out the wall by these things. The looks of things. Let's try and even this up. Just heaps amounts of steering lock on. Still clipping the wall. It's not pinball. Okay, turn 3. I'm trying to be too aggressive with it, thinking that it can turn like a regular race car, and it won't. I'll drive to its limitations, for it has many. This time, the aim for this lap is to get through without touching a single wall, regardless of the lap time. We want to set a good representative one. The throttle all the way out of there. Bit of a lift going into there. I'm not used to lifting into there properly because a lot of the cars we're doing recently, not had to worry too much about that corner. Oh, there's the wall. Purely because I couldn't see it and I forgot how wide this thing was. Okay, this time we're trying to get through the downhill section in one piece. Why am I dropping into second? Oh, I'm not restarting that. Come on. Dear. At this point, I'd much rather be in the rental car. Not while this thing's going around, obviously, because that would just be scary. It's a mammoth effort trying to get one of these things to drive around here. Get it slowed down. Slide. Okay. And then across the line we go at 2 minutes 43.6. Pure understeer and tyre noise. Formula truck, or Cobra truck as it is known on here, Cobra truck V-dub at 2 minutes 43.65 plus 2 other 2-minute laps makes a total of 7-minute lap. Right. 3 of the 4 trucks done though, so there's just 1 left on our list. Okay, next. Happy to move on. Okay, back into Formula mode. Formula Classic Gen 3, Model 3. So, Formula Classic Gen 3, Model 3. V8. So we've done the V12 in the first stream. This is the V8's turn. It's lovely pink, purple and blue livery. Okay, should hopefully have a little bit of handling to deal with here. Hopefully we can actually get the thing turning as we would like to. I'll probably end up just clipping every single apex because it turns in too well. So the V8, kind of similar to say Benettons of the era, the 90s. Rowley V8 engine. This one got bit of a snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 1. Towards turn 2, braking about 120. So much quicker. Whoa, a bit of a wobble into the cutting. Survived though. Definitely an early turn in then. What a dramatic difference that is compared to the truck over the top of the hill. Through it so much quicker. again, turning in too early. It's a wild ride. 148.4. So what is that like compared to the V12 then? Let's have a look. So F Classic, Gen 3, Car 3, 148.450. Only the third sub 2 minute lap for the evening. So the V12 3 model. Oh no, was it the no, it was the V10 we drove. So that was a 148.480. So we are 300ths quicker in the V8. Not much in that, that's for sure. Very good. Definitely more in that again. I mean, we've said this before on various laps. There's plenty more left on the table. I'm just, yeah. If I spent more time with each of them, we would knock off a fair amount of time. But as far as jumping into each one, that's what we're doing here. So 23 was that. So mark that off. Next, 40. Another Brabham. Classic Formula are the best cars in this game. They feel much better than the tin tops for physics. Yeah, the classic Formulas do feel very good. I mean, the like the hot cars or the Cobra Classics, the front wheel drive ones feel a bit odd, to be honest. But yeah, no, these classic Formula 1 cars are feeling pretty good. Okay, Formula. Where was I? Which one it was now? What's this one under? Oh, it's under Formula Vintage, isn't it? Brabham BT26A, this is the one. Actually, I think this is one of the first ones of this group we've done. Oh no, it's not. We've done a Formula Vintage Gen 2 Model 1. Okay. So this is the Brabham version of that. So we did do a 213.3 with the Model 1 spec. So again, we're basic aero. We have those dive planes. We have the rear wing. One of Brabham's most iconic cars as well. Plenty of good F1 history under their belts at Brabham. So if this is anything to go by compared to the last Formula Vintage we drove, this should be a good fun lap. Again, that familiar growl of a DFV, except I'm not sure whether this is actually a Repco tuned Brabham. Repco when they used to be engine builders rather than just car parts suppliers and car accessory suppliers. Fun fact, I used to work for Repco in New Zealand. Oh, lift off over the top of the hill. No. That's not how to scale the mountain. Ah, dear me. I had a bit of a moment there. I don't know what happened with that. Okay. Let's try again. This one's very, very lowery on the rear end. Not really a vintage Formula 1 track, I must admit, Bathurst. It's never really featured in Formula 1 history. But now we have the experience in sim racing to be able to do such things. Turn. It's pretty wayward. It's just sideways over the top of the hill. Definitely seems like the car just starts to grip better as soon as you get around half a lap, so it's almost as if the tyres are just too cold at the start to provide any kind of grip whatsoever, because up over the top of the hill there is much nicer to drive than it was at the first part of the lap. I was risking it then. I thought I'll keep my foot in, but almost bit me. Good luck downhill. Yeah, I needed it, that's for sure. 209. Oh dear me. Yeah, I hemorrhaged a huge amount of time at the cutting with that gear shifting. It's yeah, a few more laps in that, I think it would, yeah, definitely be a lot quicker. But that's fun. BT26A was a 209.317, which was quicker than the McLaren F1 road car. Where's the consistency? Nailed it down. Thanks, Griffy. Appreciate that. Thanks, Alan, as well. Yeah, sometimes it all comes together and I can actually put a lap together, which is reasonable. So, yeah, when it works nicely. Okay, Braben's done. What else we got? What's the number generator going to throw at us next? Okay. Alright, we are back in saloon car mode. This time the one make Copa Uno Championship. Selection of various Fiat Unos. So, yes, again, huge horsepower, so 130 brake horsepower to play with. That wonderful front wheel drive, which I'm really looking forward to dealing with, but because it's so underpowered compared to the Passat, I'm hoping it might be a little bit more manageable, hopefully. I'm just hoping, really. That's all I can do. Okay, come on, little Fiat. It does sound good, I'll give it that. I need brakes. It leans. Okay, so I'm predicting stability issues down the hill. Only because of the weight transfer as you go down the S's into the dipper. That's where a lot of the other cars are coming unstuck with weight transfer issues, so it'll be interesting to see how the mighty Uno handles it. I've even got a big tachometer with a shift light on there. Alright, so where do we hit brake here? Just before the 50 mark? Sure. Come on, let's go. Try and bounce to get some more traction up the hill. Yep, the mighty Fiat Uno. Too much for my skills. Cannot cope with that. Yeah, just wait for the boost to kick in. For me, it's just waiting for the lift-off oversteer to kick in. Almost rolled it in the last corner. That's the way to start a lap. Well, I'm hoping the boost's going to kick in, because at the moment I'm reading 0 boost on the dial, so I don't know whether that dial's functional or not. It certainly goes okay. I mean, it's not slow. It's too bad. Okay, so we now know we need to be careful on coming off the throttle. Turbo lag 6 to 8 weeks, yeah. And then it just doesn't stop spooling. This is why you just plough on into the wall. Come on. Let's go. Flat out. Through there. Down towards the grate. Turn in. Keeping it flat. This will be flat too. Well, the throttle was flat, the body roll wasn't. I think if you did an online race with these, you wouldn't be able to get through the dipper because there'll just be cars blocking the entire road. Okay, well, we made it over the top of the hill. The next danger is to not roll it at either the chase or the last ball. Avoid that, we'll be able to set our lap time and move on with our lives. When I was younger, the Uno was one of the most tuned up car in my class. Cheap and easy to DIY mod. Yeah. The Turbo Unos were quite a popular championship in UK motorsport as well. Yeah, they were very easy to work on back in the day. You know, these days you can't really work on cars because they're all hidden away under engine covers and electronics and things. You can't really get involved with them. So, yeah, definitely very moddable. 249.4 for the Copa Uno. 249.477. Not the slowest. Quicker than the Lotus 23. But not quicker than much else, to be honest. I'm sure we had a 3-minute lap tonight, I don't know which one though. Maybe we haven't. Okay, Fiat Uno. Checked off the list. Okay, next, please be something good. Okay. It is time for us to experience together one of the new Formula Retro Gen 2 cars. We're not in the Lotus this time, we're in the generic Formula Retro Gen 2 car, which is a very similar kind of modelling on the front. Actually, before we jump into this on the game, we're going to just have a quick look in the showroom here just to kind of show you the car. Hopefully we get a front view because it's kind of very similar to so you've got that exposed radiator at the front there. Very, very synonymous with late 70s, early 80s type cars. But yeah, it looks nicely modelled. It's very basic ground effect type car, so we should have a fair amount of downforce to play with. This is where they really start to play around with the aerodynamics underneath the car as well as over the car. So let's see what happens with this. We've got a big dome air filter on the back there, just like you would expect for this type of car. So 485 brake horsepower, 5-speed H-pattern. Of course a V8, because what else at this time of Formula 1 history would we be using? Okay. What is this going to be like? It's certainly got grunt. This is exciting just to see what this thing's like. Understeering to start off with. It's okay. This probably isn't particularly fair on this car, considering I've never driven it, and we're instantly putting it into a hot lap competition against everything else. Best way to learn. So the quicker corners, we should have a lot more grip. Yeah, it definitely slides around a fair amount in the slower speed stuff. Pick up speed. It's a lot more grip. I'm expecting to make my imprint on the wall there for a second, but I survived. Pretty good. Impressed so far. And again, this isn't the kind of track for this car, but handle it reasonably well. There we go, across the line we're sub 2 minutes, 1:57.8. This is really cool actually. It's good to have I know we got loads of classic F1 cars, but as you said, I mean, we were saying, you know, the classic Formula cars are some of the best feeling in the game, and this is another good addition to it. It kind of bridges some of the gaps. I mean, they've got a car from pretty much every era now of single-seater racing in Formula 1, so there's a bit of something for everyone there. If you fancy a bit of 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, there's something for everyone. So yeah, it's good for filling those gaps. So Formula Retro Gen 2 Model 1 is a 1:57.827. And so that is the 4th quickest lap this evening, which is pretty good. And you can see what the Lotus 79 does as well, but we will come to that eventually. Okay, what's next? On that one. We've not done this one, and we will endeavour to get this one done with as little pain as possible. We're going in the Iveco Formula truck because we love trucks. It's just trying to mess with my mind. This is what this is all about. It's just like you going from grip, no power and sort of grip, to lots of power, no grip, no steering. You just got to try and adapt to everything, and it's fun. It's a challenge, that's for sure. Okay, now out of all the trucks, I'm going to put it out there, this is probably my favourite looking of them all. I've driven this one a little bit. From what I remember, it seemed to handle a little bit nicer. We now know what we're dealing with in terms of trucks around here, so I've got my eye in with the VW. So this one should be a double. It should. after all this, I'd be disappointed that this wasn't as quick as the other trucks. Okay, braking at 200, we know that. Down to 4th. Big old power slide all the way through turn 2. Already it's feeling so much nicer to drive than the VW. Also must remember not to clip the wall on the inside of the S's. Doesn't mean I can miss it by a mile though. Formula rim not helping me out. Down the front one straight. Massive horsepower truck. Through the chase, instantly on the brakes. Warming those tyres up already. Over the line, a 241.7 to round out our truck attack on Bathurst. Okay, Cobra truck. Iveco 241.729, which is a good 2 seconds quicker than the VW, 5 seconds quicker than the Mercedes, and yeah, 2 seconds quicker than the man. So yes, I was right in thinking the Iveco would be the quickest, and it was. So that's that one done, boxed off. Okay, whew. Certainly warming up. Right, 45. Done that one. That Mercedes, that's a popular number. It keeps coming up every single time. 68. Okay, we're picking things up in the pace of prototypes. So we're in a P2 prototype car this time. We're in the Metal Morrow MRX Duratec Turbo P2. So we have a big shark fin over the top of the engine cover, 425 brake horsepower, so quite a bit of power on tap, 6-speed sequential. Yeah, so this should be quite an interesting ride over the top of the mountain. The downforce should be working nicely for us, hopefully. So what kind of time do you reckon this is going to work out? This is possibly going to be, I'd think it'd be a low 2 minute. Might be a bit slower. Stuck in 4th gear for my H pattern. Here we go then. Duratec power, so a Ford engine in the back of us. Definitely a lot of clutch slip. I don't think it's wheel spin, it just feels like clutch slip. make about the 100 board. We could have been a little bit earlier, sideways as we crest the ridge in the middle of the road there. Oh, it is wheel spin. I just saw the plume of smoke out the back. Yeah, definitely plenty of grip over the top here to these fast left-handers. Lead park. Too bad over the top of the hill, actually, that was quite good. Flat out in 6th gear, 254 kilometers an hour, 55, so reasonable top end on it. Stop for the last corner. There's a low 2 minutes, 2:07.6. Not a bad lap. Not bad at all. 2:07.605. Tomorrow P2. Okay, we are getting through them. Still quite a way to go, but we're getting through them. So, X out of that. Right. What's next? What's next on our list? Ooh, okay. We're into GT1s. We're still in sports car mode. We're in the GT1s. We're going to be racing, or running, the McLaren F1 Longtail. It'll be interesting to see how this compares to its road car version, which was a 2:10 from memory. Yep, 2:10.7. So this one, in theory, should be a lot quicker. It's got aero, it's got race car dynamics on it, it's got slick tyres, we've got all the bells and whistles to make this thing quick. So if it's any slower than a 2:10, which I'm not expecting it to be, then yeah, that would be quite a shock. V12 BMW power. Sounds good. Here we go then. Too bad through turn 1. Using all of that power up the hill. As this is more for Le Mans long straights, top speed shouldn't be an issue here. We shouldn't be reaching the limiter, hopefully. This car's so much better now, yeah. I remember it not being particularly fun to drive when I first drove it. This does feel pretty nice. That's the limit through there. Go any wider. Yeah, considerably more grip than the street car had, obviously. You would expect that. Yeah, that was pretty good over the top of the hill. on the limiter here. It's interesting. Sounds so good. Yeah, it is putting the power down very nicely. No real dramas. Yes, we're sub 2 minutes. 1:59.2. Yeah, that was good. I like that. That's a big improvement from the last time I drove it, that's for sure. So McLaren F1 GT1 is 1:59.267. So what was the Mercedes? We drove that in Stream 1, Part 1. Where was the Mercedes GT1 and all of that? That was a 2 minutes .04, so we are quicker in the McLaren. It's just the Porsche 911 to drive in the GT1 category. Well, that was good. Yep, I like that. I definitely do more running in the McLaren GT1, I think, or GT1 in general, because I think the first time I drove the GT1 cars, they were just rotating, like just coming around on me into the entrance to all the corners, so I just kind of felt a bit weird. But no, definitely feels a lot better. Okay. We've gone to the very bottom of our list, so interesting to see how this one stacks up, because we are in the little mini Cooper S, the 1965 original Cooper S. I've gone with the red with the black roof because that's the one that my dad had. So, can we better our Lotus 23 time? And minis are right up there, so can we go quicker than that? We'll find out. 2:51's the time we're chasing. But yeah, the Mini Cooper S, I mean, what can you say about this car? I mean, it's just so cool. I mean, you see these things giving Mustangs and Lotus Cortinas a really hard time through the corners. There's four-wheel drifting everywhere. It's just amazing. So, yeah, good, successful motorsport car. I mean, rallying as well as circuit racing. Okay, slower lap, but I'm sure it's going to be just as fun. We do start with cold tyres, and that will explain why our from the vintage laps weren't brilliant to start off with, and then got better. I do love this car. We did a live stream mini event when this was first released. We did a race in this around Alton Park, and we did the more modern mini at Darlington Park, which was a good fun event. Some good racing to be had. Come on. Just a scrape on the wall, it's okay. Just trying to keep it in third to maximise momentum, but sacrificed all that with a poor run. Oh dear me. Trying too hard, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that is absolutely great for racing. It's so fun. Oh, there we go. There's my moment into the bottom of the S's. Okay, we'll go again. I keep forgetting that front wheel drive cars don't like going through there. It's been spoiled with all these high downforce rocket ships. So readjust. Definitely need to do some more racing with us again, because I really enjoyed it last time. To have a good look at all the gum trees on the run up Mountain Straight. I think there was some property for sale up around here not too long ago. It was valued for quite a lot of money, unsurprisingly. Imagine living on around the perimeter of Bathurst. Would be amazing. That was neater. Yeah, that probably is a rather good point. It's just going too quickly. It's not like I'm Paddy Hopkirk or anything like that. I don't know what I was thinking there, really. I thought I had that turned in okay, but let's see if we can get this thing home. Because in the other corners it just chucked in and gripped and just over ambitious. Okay, we're still going. Well, it's only 4 gears to work with, so sticking out here at 80 kilometres. It's pretty quick for a little Mini. I just love how you can chuck it into the corners though, it is really good. It moves around underneath as well. You saw it kind of shake its head a little bit when I got it into the chase there. So here we go, 2 minutes 51.6. That is going to be... You're kidding me. Wow, okay. So even with my moment, we went 2 1,000ths of a second quicker than the Lotus. Near enough the identical time. But we are quicker in the Mini than we were in the Lotus. And it could go quicker as well if I didn't slam it into the wall, obviously. So that should now show me that Mini Cooper is back on top of the time sheet. It was a shame because I really wanted the Lotus to take that, but that's fine. That was fun. That was good. Another one of our favourites, that one. Okay. I shouldn't be so disappointed. I get the opportunity to drive a variety of different vehicles, and it's all in the aid of fun and enjoyment. We're in the Gol HC, the hot cars version of the Gol. So we're front-wheel drive again, 178 horsepower, and I just need to remember not to take it too quickly through the S's, and look out for a lift-off oversteer. And we should be able to survive. That's the main goal here. Or goal, as you like. Wasn't intended to be a pun. Okay. So lightweight, front-wheel drive, touring car, 4 gears only. Wider track, as you can see. hoping that this hot car version is going to be a little bit more well behaved. But I'll reserve judgment on that until we get back to the finish line. So far so good. The real challenge is yet to come. Forward, I reckon, for braking into here. Maybe third gear was in the way. It's too late to change down now though. Really struggling up the hill, even in second gear. So we've already had that one moment into the cutting, so we know that this car is not going to like lifting off abruptly, changing direction and all that, so that's my warning. That's my second warning. Right, let's take it easy. We did it! Don't celebrate too early though, it's not over yet. Not the greatest run onto Condenser Straight I've ever had. But I will take it because the car is in one piece. Put it into fourth, sit back, just wait for the next corner to come to us eventually. I'm giving all these front-wheel drive cars a bit of a hard time. I mean, with more time and practice, they would probably be a bit of fun to drive and race as well. And they do sound good as well. We completed it in one go. Which is quite a bonus. 2:39. Another slowish lap. 2:39.40. Goal HC. Okay. So we've reached the same number of cars we managed to do in part 1. We still have some time, so we'll crack on, because tomorrow's stream we're going to have to do another part 1, or part 3 shall I say, but tomorrow's stream is going to be slightly shortened due to other commitments, but we will continue to do some more streaming there, and we will hopefully get the majority of them done between now and then we will come back on Monday again if we haven't got this finished off, so we will complete this challenge by the end of the weekend. So, next up, 22. Formula Classic Gen 3 Model 1. Formula Classic Gen 3 Model 1. So yes, it was the V10 that we'd run last time, so this is finishing off the Formula Classic Gen 3 section with a V12. Lovely. Nothing better than a singing V12 engine, is there really? 770 brake horsepower. 7-speed sequential. This is when they started really playing around with paddle shifters as well. So, yeah, lots of technological advancements in this era of Formula 1. Here we go. V12. Sounds so good. Okay, here we go then. This should be another sub 2-minute lap, easily. So will this be quicker than the V8, which we did just before. Let's see. So difficult to try and adapt back to this again from the front-wheel drive stuff. On me then, but it's okay. Seven gears. Use every last rev available and grounding out. There we go, 147.67. Beautiful V12 singing away there. So F Classic Gen 3 Model 1 147.678. So where's the V8 then? That was a 148.4, so we've gone quite a bit quicker than that actually, 47.6. It's probably our quickest of that group actually. Shoulders starting to let me know I'm working it a bit harder than I should do. Oh, that's okay, we'll persist. Okay. Let's go onwards. Pretty sure we've done that one. We have. That's that Mercedes again. Oh! Almost forgotten this category exists. It's the first appearance on the challenge of GT3. And we're in the BMW. One of my least favourite GT3 cars. However, it's a GT3 car, so it'll be interesting to see how this gets on. Should be up for a reasonable lap here. So the M6 is, in general terms for a GT3 car, it's quite big, long, doesn't make much noise, and it's fairly unassuming really as far as a GT3 car is concerned. Obviously it has a massive diffuser out the back and so on, but yeah, it never really impressed me as a GT3 car. I mean, some of the GT3 cars, you look at them and like, yeah, you know what, that looks really cool. It's just a really nice sounding car or whatever, but yeah, the M6 never really did much for me, so that may all change if this turns out to be a nice driving car. Sounds just lifeless. I'm a fan of BMW. I do like the cars that BMW produce. I just feel this one just doesn't stand out for me. So we'll see how it gets on. See how it stacks up compared to the stock car that we drove earlier. Just feel very loose actually, like there's not a great deal of grip underneath me. Well, it's tightening up a bit now. Almost doesn't sound like it's got an engine, it's just all transmission. I could be wrong. I mean, there could be some people out there who really love the M6, so this is my personal opinion on it. I'm not a big fan of it, but GT3 cars are GT3 cars essentially, but they all have their place. Whereas this one has its place on the grass of the chase, so. Annoyingly, I'm not going to be able to allow that lap because I have just cut off a fade out of the track, so I'm going to have to do that again. Oh. Just didn't stop. It's probably too late. I couldn't get it stopped. Well, maybe it's just giving me another opportunity to try and like it. For German marketing executives. That's a very sweeping statement. I think part of the reason why this car just lacks drama is because of the move to turbos. It is actually a V8, but because it's turbocharged, you just lose a lot of the noise through the turbo. So. Over the top here. The likes of Chaz Mostert certainly put the M6 through its paces around Bathurst in the 12-hour a couple of years ago. Did a good job with it there. He had lots of pace. So, I mean, the car's obviously quick. It can win races. It won the Nürburgring 24 Hours as well. So it's a successful car. Okay, let's get it stopped. Go. One leisurely lap of Bathurst completed. 2:05. 2:05. Not overly quick. M6 GT3. 2 minutes 5.003. So it's nearly a 4. What was the stock car on? Oh, so that was a 2:12. So yeah, it was a good chunk of time quicker. Okay, so I reckon we're getting to the point of the evening. We have 2 more left. Let's hope these are some good ones. So BMW M6 is gone. Next one, done that one. Done. Oh, okay. Yes, no Z4. Yeah, I will agree. The Z4 is, yeah, brilliant. And I even like, this is probably going to be controversial as well, but I even like the new M4 GT3 with its massive grille. I prefer that to the M6 for sure. But we're sticking with GT3 and we're just going one car up to something which is a bit more to my liking in terms of general things. So look, sound. Yeah, the Mercedes AMG GT3. This is a bit more like it. Now, when this first came out, I was probably kind of drawn to this one a lot more than I was the other GT3s at the time. This was one of my favourite ones, so hopefully it's still just as good. I'm looking forward to driving this one around here, giving it some death. Right, so 205 to beat. This is what a V8 should sound like. This one actually sounds like it has an engine. It's good. Okay. Let's see what this Mercedes GT3 has to offer. Hill. Turned in nicely there. The steering wheel has a lot more weight to it as well. Missed the apex by a country mile into there, but it's okay. So much more grip. That's running it close to the wall. I will actually be pretty sad that this doesn't beat the M6 after all that. Would be gutting. Okay, let's get it stopped to the chase. Reasonably clean lap. This is a 205 217. It's slower than the M6. Not by much, and I'm sure I could gain that. Yeah, it is 0.2 slower than the M6. Never mind. I enjoyed that one much more though, that's for sure. Michael, welcome along. Glad you're watching with us. It's good to have you with us. What force feedback settings are you running? Well, running the Club Sports V2.5 wheel, essentially. I will show you my force feedback settings. Once we've done this next car, I will go into the settings on here and I'll show you what I'm running, because I've actually forgotten what I'm running. I haven't changed them for so long. But I'll also run you through what I've got on my settings on here, which are toned down slightly because of my injured shoulder, but it's just a case of picking up the actual strength of the force feedback in general. So we'll have a look at that once we've finished here. So last one then. What's it going to be? What are we going to end the night on? Okay, this could be a fun one. Formula V, not the one with the fin, the standard Formula V. Now, I haven't driven this one since they did the previous update, not the one that's just happened, the one prior to that, which I think they've changed it, and the Formula V is now a lot more knife edgy, if I can call it that. It's from what I've heard, it's very on the edge all the time. You're just constantly just driving with your fingertips. So this could be quite a challenge over the top of the hill. Let's see what we do here. don't forget to see how many gears we have. Yeah, so it is 4. Okay. Let's go. Let's see what we can do with this little Formula V. This was one of our favourite cars in AMS2. One we featured in our Hidden Gems video. Yeah, it's a really good car to drive. It's got treaded tyres, basic suspension, no aero. So really got to balance the car and maximise corner speed as well where possible. Third gear up here. Hopefully the spirit of VW doesn't strike again with this car. Had a few issues with VW machinery on this challenge, but hopefully this one's an exception. Planted so far. Sort of. Right, tiptoe time. Just about managed to save it with a big shoe full of brake. Oh, so you're running a V2.5 as well, Michael. That's cool. This isn't a V2.5 body, but it has got the V2.5 electronics in it because Fearsome did an upgrade on it for us. The old one had a bit of a moment and it was taken back to the shop and they've put some V2.5 internals in. Fun wrestling it into there then. One more corner to go. It is easier than the Fusca, you're right, Cyrus. It definitely is easier than the Fusca. There's that one moment down the hill, but in general, far more manageable. Okay, so Formula V, no fin. Let's see whether the aerodynamic device helps with the next one. 2 minutes 43.439. So there we go. That concludes our running of cars for the evening. Quite a mixed bag in there again. Some lower lap times in terms of lower 2 minute lap times on the board this time around. So you know, obviously that blistering lap of the Formula Ultima 137. Once we've gone through all the different cars, we will. I might try that again and see how low we can go with that. That'd be quite good. But standout performances tonight in this particular stream. Love the Ginetta GT5 and the G40 Cup. Always a pleasure to drive that. What else do we love? Caterham Superlight, fantastic car to drive, really love that. What else was there? The Lotus 23 was a good surprise for me this evening. I really liked that one. It's come on leaps and bounds from the last time I drove it, really fun. Copa Montana is always a barrel of laughs trying to drive that thing fast. The new Formula Retro Gen 2 car was very good. I'm impressed with that. Looking forward to trying out the Lotus 79, which will hopefully come along in part 3, which will be tomorrow evening. And McLaren GT1 as well. That was a good time. So before we sign off, then let's go through some force feedback options. I'll show you what I'm running. So go back I know force feedback is very subjective to individual styles and preferences, but for me, this is what I have found to work pretty well, and you can feel a good amount of the weight transfer, obviously the oversteer as well, so I found this works quite well. So this is my settings here. So gain 50, low force boost is 20, FX of 30, damping of 30, menu spring strength obviously doesn't really matter. But on the wheel itself, so the profile I'm using, so sensitivity set to auto, force feedback is on 70. Normally I'd run that on 90, I think it is, or 100. Shock is off. ABS is off. Drift mode thingy what's it is on off. FOR, the force, is on 90. Spring is off. The temper is 30. FEI is 30, and that's my list of things. So it's quite low. I mean, a lot of people would have these clutchsport wheels ramped right up and it'd be really, really stiff. I mean, I'm running a Formula rim, which is obviously smaller anyway, so if I was running, say, the BMW rim, if I had one, I know that's a heavier wheel and obviously a larger diameter, so the force feedback will be transferred differently through that compared to what you would get with a smaller rim like this. So but what I've found with this, I mean, having driven direct drive wheels, it actually has that element of smoothness to it which I felt through direct drive. It doesn't have a lot of the canned effects, so you don't get a lot of the vibrations and the rumbles and the kind of the extra bits and pieces that are kind of thrown in, but it is very smooth and very communicative for me in terms of what I need to feel through the wheels. So maybe give them a go, see what you think, let me know what you think of them, but that's the settings that I use, but I will be probably having a look at those again at some point, maybe just to tailor make them a little bit more. But there we go, so that is part 2 of our Challenge the Mountain. We're going to take every single car in Automobilista 2 for a lap around Mount Panorama, and we've made some more good progress this evening. There's a lot less white on my list and more red being the ones I've marked off. So yep, again, we'll get our leaderboard updated and we will post it up onto our social media channels on Facebook, so keep an eye out for that and we'll see where everything stacks up. But yeah, until tomorrow evening, which will be, we're going to do a stream, I think we're going to start at, we're going to do 7:30 tomorrow. I'm going to go 7:30 till just before 9 o'clock, so not as long as it was this evening, but that's just down to time restraints on my end. So we'll see you back here again tomorrow for some more Bathurst lappery, but until then, we will see you all very soon. Take care, have a good evening, and I've lost my music. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, have a good rest of your evening. We'll see you soon.